and welcome to today's session where in the continuation of the series Literary Terms and Figures of Speech, we are going to discuss this lyrical form of poetry, ode. As per its definition, an ode is a short lyric poem that praises an individual, an idea or an event. We also often come across such poems where the poet celebrates or praises an individual, people, natural sceneries or abstract ideas. We can term those poems as odes. If we see the origin of this word ode, then this word ode is derived from this Greek word adin, which means to sing or to chant. Generally, odes are serious poems which deals with the subjects which are noble and dignified. There are three main types of odes, viz. Pandari ode, Horatian ode and irregular ode. Let's discuss them one by one. To begin with Pandari ode, this sort of ode is named after ancient Greek poet Pindar. Pindar was the poet who began writing choral poems that were meant to be performed or to be sung. Actually, Pindaric odes were delivered or dedicated to the boys and young men who triumphed or got victory in the Greek classical games. And to see the formal structure of this sort of ode or lyric, there are three triads in this ode: name, strophe, antistrophe and apode. The first segment, strophe, is the first stanza of this poem, and in this first stanza or this strophe is delivered by the chorus or the group of singers. And as you can see, the meaning of this word or this term strophe is turn, which means that while delivering or while reciting this segment, this first segment of the Pindari ode strophe, when chorus recite this segment, then they are supposed to shift or move from the right side of the stage to the left side. There is a turn, and the turn is from right to left, and then strophe is followed by antistrophe. And as the very name is suggesting, it and meaning is also written on the screen, to turn back, which means that now the chorus will move to the opposite direction. In the opposite direction, if earlier they moved from right to left, so now while reciting this segment, which is antistrophe, which is the second portion of this Pindaric ode, while reciting, while singing this portion, the chorus is supposed to move from left to the right side of the stage. So this is what antistrophe is, and this antistrophe serves as a response to strophe, but it doesn't get the final word. It is not the ending stanza, and it is the third apode, this segment or this part which acts as a final stanza of any Pindaric ode, and it also means after song, which means this is the final stanza, final segment of any Pindaric ode. And at this point, when chorus is supposed to sing apode, then all the groups of singer or the chorus comes together at the center of the stage and delivers this final stanza. So this is what the structure of this Pindaric ode is, which is divided into three triads: strophe, antistrophe and apode. And to have a glimpse of this structure, I have taken the excerpt from this excellent poem or excellent example of Pandari ode, The Progress of Poesy by Thomas Gray. And as you can see that this is an excerpt, it is a long poem, it is an excerpt, and you can have a glimpse of all the three portions, three segments of any Pindaric ode. And if you observe carefully, then you can notice that the first two stanza are similar in length. And one more thing which I haven't told you, that strophe, antistrophe and apode are composed in such a way that strophe and antistrophe are written, or they share same rhythmic pattern, same number of lines, yeah, same type of stanza and same rhyme scheme, and the same similar or this attribute in which strophe and antistrophe share the same rhythmic pattern, rhyme scheme, and number of lines. You can observe here, you can see here, and because strophe and antistrophe, you can see they have the same number of lines, they have the similar rhyme scheme, and they also have the same rhythmic pattern. So this is what strophe and antistrophe is made up of. But the apode has its own meter, apode has its own stanza structure, and you can see in this example, apode is really apode is in this example has very different structure. It is just double in length. It is no match with the rhyme scheme of its earlier portions, and it doesn't have the same rhythmic pattern. So this is the way in which any Pandari code is composed, in which strophe and antistrophe are of the same nature in terms of rhythmic pattern, rhyme scheme, and number of lines, whereas apode is different from strophe and antistrophe. So I hope that you have got what is Pandaric ode and how is it structured. So in this example, you can observe these portions very clearly. And the next ode is Horatian ode, and this ode is named after the Roman poet Horace. And in the main feature of this sort of ode is that this ode is composed in the same line stanzas. What I mean to say is that in Horatian ode we will find all the stanzas of same length. There will be no variation in the number of lines in the stanzas. All the stanzas will be of same line, and also they also share the same meter and rhyme scheme. All the stanzas will have the same meter and rhyme scheme, but the different part, what makes it apart from Pandari ode is that it doesn't follow any strict structure like strophe, antistrophe, or apode. It has stanzas which share the same nature, which share the same meter, rhyme scheme, and length, but they don't follow the structure which we have studied in Pandaric ode. Horace broke away from the strict mode of Pandaric theme, and Horace also composed such odes which were very much different in the theme also. Horace composed the poems, the odes, which were very intimate, meditative, and personal in their nature. Unlike Pandari odes, which were meant to be performed at public places, Horatian odes are meant for reflections. While reading Horatian odes, we find that they are reflective in their tone and mood, and they are more personal and intimate in their nature and topic. Here is an example of Horatian ode, which is a very beautiful example of this kind of ode on solitude by Alexander Pope. And you can observe here I have taken two stanzas of this poem, where you can observe that both the stanzas are sharing the same kind of rhyme scheme, rhythmic pattern, and number of lines. If we move from first stanza to the next stanza, we don't find any variation. They are same in length. If you see the rhyme scheme, then it is also same, and rhythmic pattern is also similar and same. So this is what Horatian ode is. And as Pandari ode sings about the beauty or grand beauty of nature, or such lofty themes, or such general themes about art and literature, whereas in this ode, especially in this ode, we can observe that it is more intimate and meditative in nature, where Pope is reflecting on the quality of solitude, which allows him more time to reflect upon himself, or which allows him more time for meditation, we can say. So this is more intimate meditative, and personal in tone in comparison to Pandaric ode. So now this is the third type of ode, which is irregular ode, and as the very name is suggesting that this sort of ode doesn't follow any form, any specific type of form. It is neither written in the Pandaric form or the Horatian form. It is very much irregular in its word structure, and it has no fixed stanzic pattern. Overall, we can say that it doesn't adhere, or it doesn't follow any metrical or stanzic patterns. It is also known as Cowley's ode, which is named after this English poet Abraham Cowley. Here is an example of this irregular ode. This ode is written by Percy Bysshe Shelley, Ode to the West Wind, and here I have taken 2 stanzas from this poem to show you that how many or how much vary both are from each other. You can see that both the stanzas are not in match, even in length, in rhyme scheme or rhythmic pattern. There is no match in there is no sort of match with each other. That's why it is called irregular ode. So this is what the types of odes, and I hope that now you can differentiate and you have understood what does it mean by Pandaric ode, Horatian ode, and irregular ode. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to see you in the next session.